All right, so we're talking about ways to find good deals in a hyper-competitive market. And one of those ways is to find properties that just aren't marketed very well. So let's start by understanding that the homes that get the most offers in our market get the most people in the door. So a home that has 300 or 400 people that goes through it in the 7 to 10 days it's on the market is most likely to sell at a higher price than a home that has 30 or 40 people through it. And what's the best way to get a lot of people in the door? It's to show them something online that creates at least some form of emotional reaction or makes them say, hey, I really want to see this home in person. So we're visual people. Most people don't read the listing description on a home unless they like what they see in the photos. So it goes to say that a home with very few photos, with no photos at all, or bad photos where they're vertically oriented, they're taken on an iPhone, or it's dark, or there's just clutter all through the house, that doesn't create a good emotional reaction. A lot of people don't think or don't have the ability to see past that. So those homes don't get as many people in the door. So it may be a little counterintuitive, but if you're looking to get a good deal on a house, look for those homes with no photos. Look for those homes with bad photos or with very, very few photos. Now, normally when a home has no photos, there's a reason for it. It's because the home is really, really ugly. It's in really, really bad shape, or whoever's living there or who has ever lived there recently is probably doing some things that the agent doesn't want photographed. Perhaps they're just a hoarder and there's boxes and knickknacks and tchotchkes in every corner, covering every inch of wall. That's fine. If you can look past that and go into that house and see, what canvas lies behind all those things, you have a much better opportunity to get a genuinely good deal, meaning you're getting more house at a lower price per square foot than a perfectly staged, professionally photographed home that's getting 5 to 10 times more people through the door. Again, at a price range where we're at in our market, you need to be thinking not just emotionally, like, hey, this is a house that this gives me, this is a place that I just want to live. It feels so good. Yeah, ideally you want that, but you also need to be thinking as, hey, what's the investment potential of this house? How much equity am I going to have? It's distinctly possible that, a house with no photos could simply be because someone's lazy, or the seller is distressed and they just need to get this property on the market as quickly as possible, and they don't have time to take photos or wait for professional photos. So never assume. And even if it has no photos because it's just an ugly house, it might have good bones. It might be in good shape. It might be something that with a little lipstick could be made beautiful. And there's $100,000 or $200,000 of equity you're unlocking for $1,000 to $2,000 or $3,000 of work. So the first type of homes that you can really get good deals on are those that are lacking in the photo department. A second time are homes that just have very limited viewing windows or are really tough to view or tough to visit. So now that open houses are back, homes without open houses typically don't get as many offers as homes with open houses. The converse of that is what you'll see a lot of times is some homes will only have open houses and you can't visit them during the week. Well, not everyone has 2 or 3 hours on Saturdays and Sundays. Some people are out of town, some people just are busy, who don't have the opportunity to see a house during an open house window, or they prefer not to see a house where there's 10 or 15 other people in the house at the same time. They prefer to go 30, 45 minutes just themselves and their agent and their broker to really get a feel for whether the house works for them. So you'll see a lot of times sellers, due to a lack of a comfort level, or perhaps they're overestimating the market, will have very, very narrow opportunities, narrow viewing windows to see a house, and it goes to figure that less people can see the house. And as we already said before, less feet in the door means less offers. Less offers means a lesser chance for a bidding war, which is really where prices go up. And then finally, the third way you can really get a house below market value is if you're able to find a house off market. Now, the overwhelming majority, well over 95% of residential single-family homes, condos, and townhouses in our market sell on the MLS. Why wouldn't they? If you're a seller, why would you not want to put your property on the multiple listing service where it's aggregated to the Zillows, the Trulias, the Redfins of the world, where everyone can see it? That's how you get the most eyes on the property. Most eyes on the property online gives you a better chance to get the most feet through the door, which gives you a better chance to get the most offers. But not everything sells online. Oftentimes there's perfectly good or perfectly valid reasons why someone would prefer to sell the property off market. Sometimes they just don't want a lot of people through their house. Sometimes there's been a death in the family and it's a very sensitive situation. Sometimes it's a divorce and the folks can't come to agreement on how they want to show the property. Sometimes, as we mentioned before, there's someone living there who's just embarrassed of having the house in its current condition. Perhaps they're a hoarder again, photographed and broadcast for the world to see. Whatever the reason, there are a lot of properties that sell off market, and more often than not, those properties that sell off market are going to sell at a slight discount to the properties that sell on market. So we keep a list of, it's a living document, updated every few days, and it's compiled from a multitude of sources. Some of them are just coming soon homes. Some of them are homes from individual broker and agent listservs. Some of them are, whatever the case, there's typically several hundred to a couple thousand homes that are either genuinely for sale off market or we expect will be coming for sale off market. And we're happy to share that with you if that's something you want to look at. Now, again, most homes sell on the market for a reason. The idea that you're just going to find the perfect home at an amazing discount off market, that's probably unrealistic. A lot of homes that sell off market, or a lot of homes that folks try to sell off market, aren't necessarily good deals. But if you do find the right home off market, you certainly have the opportunity to make a bid on that house and potentially buy that house without nearly the competition you're going to have if the home is listed on the multiple listing service. So the focus here has again been the ways that a property is marketed. The ways that a property is marketed or not marketed can certainly impact the demand for that property. And a home that's just not marketed very well isn't a negative thing for a buyer. It's a target of opportunity to find a genuinely good deal. So hopefully that was helpful. If you thought so, and you have anything to add, please leave a comment or give us a like and a subscribe, and we'll continue pumping out videos like this with some other ways to find good deals on properties in the Bay. Thanks so much.